Okay, you're walking down the road, you get hit by a car, right? But the person who hit you never stops. That's what happened to a man walking along Middle River Road back on October the 4th.
Now, new surveillance video could help bring that suspect to justice. ABC 2 News' Nadia Singh is live near the scene of the accident. She's got more tonight on the investigation. Nadia?
Well, Kelly and Jamie, drivers I spoke to say that this stretch of Middle River Road is always busy. That surveillance video you just mentioned, it could have come from one of the businesses along this busy street. And although the victim is expected to be okay, police still want answers.
When you live in areas where you got people hasty, ignorant, you will get people getting hit because some drivers don't want to wait.
That's what this surveillance video, recently released by Baltimore County Police, shows as a man is struck in the street.
It's not right. I'm worried about the kids getting hit. There's kids come up through here all the time.
Crash investigators say that just after 1 a.m. on October 4th, a man was crossing the 1,000 block of Middle River Road when this car hit him.
Yeah, it's scary to know it could happen in your neighborhood, but it could happen in anybody's neighborhood.
He was just trying to cross the street, but the driver never stopped.
It's shocking to me because normally I take control all the time. This is the first time I ever heard about that. And it's sad.
The man is expected to survive, but this road sees both foot and vehicle traffic.
I take this road a whole lot, travel back and forth.
Thanks to this surveillance video from a business in the area, police now have a clue, but they need the public's help.
This is the first time I ever heard about somebody getting hit in this area, because normally, they do speed, but it's very seldom somebody get hit in this area.
Right now, crash investigators are looking into this case. If you have any information, call police. We're live in Middle River. Nadia Singh, ABC 2 News.
Information tonight about a corrections officer taken hostage by a prisoner. Investigators say before David Ross ran, he locked 4 other prisoners in a room. ABC Action News reporter Michael Paluska joins us live with more on how those prisoners helped police catch their kidnapper. Michael?
Jameson, a pretty unbelievable twist in this story. When it was all said and done, after all that happened here in this park, those 4 inmates that were working here were here all alone. They could have escaped. No one would have been the wiser. Instead, they chose to do the right thing.
Those 4 guys, in fact, we wouldn't, the police department would not have even known something was wrong until 5 o'clock this afternoon. If those inmates had not have taken the action that they did.
Bartow Police Chief Joe Hall says just after noon, prisoner David Ross on a work detail near the park got the jump on Corrections Officer Jeffrey Rexroad using a shank. Ross locked the other prisoners in this building, then took Rexroad hostage. Driving a stolen city truck, they headed to Pinellas County. For 30 minutes, no law enforcement agency knew what had happened until the other inmates escaped.
They were able to break the rope that was tying the door and get out. As they came out, there was a young lady that was sitting in her car a couple hundred feet away having lunch.
They told her to call 911, then deputies and police swarmed the area from Polk County to Pinellas. Police did not warn the public because investigators were tracking the officer's cell phone and didn't want to tip off Ross. The 2-hour escape ended near a grocery store in Pinellas County with no injuries.
Whenever my grandkids are here and they're out here working, I take them in the house.
Kathy Ibrahim lives across from the park. She wants to know why the officer wasn't armed and what the Department of Corrections will do in the future to keep her family safe.
All this time, these prisoners working here, and you see what happened now, I mean, it might happen again.
And most of these prisoners are on good behavior and they're about to get out of prison and serve their sentences. Ross was scheduled to get out February of 2019. Now with these new charges of kidnapping, stealing a car, and aggravated assault, he could be facing maybe even decades more in prison. So still no answers about why he made the decision to try and escape. We're live here in Polk County tonight. In Bartow, Michael Paluska, ABC.
Peshmerga fighters, with the help of the Golden Division elite unit of the Iraqi army, have launched a new offensive to push ISIL militants out of the villages around Mosul. The northern Iraqi city is the jihadist group's last major stronghold in the country. Local forces, backed by the US-led coalition, have been steadily recovering ground surrounding the city since Monday and are now focusing on a group of villages some 20 kilometres to the north and east. Reports suggest this could be the final big push before entering Mosul itself, where an estimated 5,000 ISIL fighters still reside. This commander says currently the operation is going smoothly, sometimes even faster than expected. We'll soon be able to announce the happy news that we've liberated Mosul and wiped out terrorism. People are starting to return home to some of the retaken villages. However, combat appears far from over, and ISIL is not expected to give up its stronghold easily.
Tonight with a deadly rollover crash we first told you about in the Kega 9 on Your Side app. At least 3 people were killed and parts of I-10 opened just an hour ago.
1 victim died at the scene, 2 others died at the hospital. Doctors are now treating 1 other person. We do not know what condition that person is in.
The crash happened just after rush hour this morning on westbound I-10 at Ruthroff. It caused a major traffic backup for much of the day. The collision involved 7 vehicles. 2 of them were semi-trucks.
At last report, state troopers were still trying to figure out what caused the collision, and the Department of Transportation was moving debris off the road.
Clark in Scottsdale robbed once, then the guy came back for more, but it was caught on camera. ABC 15's Noelani Graff near Thompson Peak Parkway and McDowell Mountain Ranch. The challenge here is that the robber was in disguise.
You can buy a Halloween mask all over town, all sorts of them, right? So that's how this guy hides his face. And he also carried along a hatchet, even more terrifying for the clerk. But take a look at the video. Even if you don't recognize someone with that mask, maybe you'll recognize the way this guy walks. And notice how tall he is when he threatens the clerk, at least 6 feet, according to Scottsdale police. They say this guy made the cashier empty the register at the Super Pump Shell station. He leaves and then comes back, forcing the clerk into a back room so he can steal things from around the store. Now, the clerk was not hurt, but if you can help track this guy down, you are asked to call Scottsdale police and you can make an anonymous tip. Now back to you.
No, hey, thank you. Is trying to prey on the elderly with a lie about tree trimming. Police say 1 couple and their grandson shut down this robbery attempt. ABC 15's Jason Valentine has the story.
An elderly couple in Central Phoenix wants to warn others. They say 2 fakers bullied their way into the backyard, claiming they wanted to trim the trees, but really that was just a cover for crime. Chickens roam Richard Norman's backyard most days, but he says 2 cowards were here a couple weeks ago.
They got out of that truck so fast and through that gate I couldn't believe my eyes.
His security cameras caught the action near 19th Ave in Glendale.
Oh no, that one just stood, looked right up at it.
These 2 guys, police say they're robbers, walked right into the backyard. They tell Richard's wife, Linda, they need to cut the trees away from the power lines, but really, they're scouting the property, looking for things to take. It's not the first time the couple has been robbed. Richard had tough talk for another would-be burglar several months ago.
Twist tried to knock them teeth down her throat.
This time, the pair pushed Richard, knocked him down, and scraped his elbow as they made their escape. Meantime, the couple's great-grandkids were both there, calling the cops.
When he was standing out in the street, put his hands waving like over his head to get the cops.
The bad guys got away, but the kids got credit for keeping Grandpa and Grandma safe. Coming up on our news at 10, in his own words, how that 10-year-old boy knew it was time to call the cops. I'm Jason Valentine, ABC 15.
Mystery for months now, and tonight we have the new chilling calls for help after an incident, that's been connected to the serial street shooter case.
Phoenix 911, where is your emergency?
It's my brother. They just shot him.
Okay. Did this happen in front of the house, ma'am?
Yes, it's just right in front of my house.
Did you see the person that shot him?
No, I didn't. He just drove up to our house, to our house, and he just fell in our driveway.
Okay.
So that was the sister of the 21-year-old who was killed, Diego Verdugo Sanchez. He was one of 7 people who police have said died at the hands of the serial shooter. Police say all of them were killed between March and July of this year. The reward to catch the guy, now up to $75,000. So if you know anything, please call Silent Witness at 480-WITNESS.
And following breaking news just into the live desk here, we have learned an American fugitive listed on America's Most Wanted is now in U.S. custody. Last week, Mexican authorities turned over this man, 63-year-old Richard Randolph, to officials at the port of Nogales. Randolph is the highest possible level for a sex offender and considered a great risk to the public. Last year, he did not re-register as a sex offender. He has been turned over to the Santa Cruz County Sheriff's Department. We have some breaking news just coming in. Earlier in this newscast, we told you about that deadly crash in California, a truck plunging off the San Diego Coronado Bridge. We have just learned 2 of those victims are from Arizona. They're a 62-year-old man and a 50-year-old woman, both from Chandler. Their names have not yet been released. 2 other people also killed in this. Right now, the driver is in the hospital. We're told he will be arrested for suspicion of DUI.